So first things first, we're here because of the great Leah Jackson, owner and proprietor of Angst Gallery and Niche Wine Bar. Not here in the building at the moment, but will be with us later on. As you can see, there's a great show of film noir posters, and this is in cooperation with the Kiggins Theater, which is going to show one night per month for the next 3 months a film noir film, and the first one will be next Monday, the 14th. They're going to show Alfred Hitchcock's Notorious.
Yeah.
And when you buy a ticket for these films, for the noir films, they're also going to pair the film with a wine that either appeared in the film or has some relationship to the film. So it's Notorious, then Christmas Holiday, and I'm not sure the third one, but I'll find out the third one for you. But anyway, next Monday, that will be happening. So these are posters from the private collection of Roger Paulson. I invited him to come and be with us. I don't see him in the room right now, but if he does show up, I'm going to encourage him to say more about his collection. But this is from his private collection, and so just about everything you're looking at, including the lobby cards up here, which are a little bit smaller, are for sale. So, and every time that we do Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic, they extend their happy hour for us. So that's why I'm holding this up. Please take advantage of this and be kind to the folks over there who are working hard to serve a larger number of people than are usually here on a Thursday night. So we've got some deals here for you. And what else do I want to say? Oh, there are bathrooms at the back of both establishments. The bathroom at the back of Niche is more human-friendly, I suppose you should say. More, you probably enjoy it more, and it's just through those red doors and take a left.
Wine.
What else?
Wine, out and about.
Oh, yes.
Drinks, out and about.
It's going to seem kind of silly, but it's important to the city of Vancouver. You can bring your wine back and forth between the two businesses through the red doors at the back as often as you want, but you cannot take it out this front door and into the bar and back and forth. So just be aware of that. That's something that it's something that, I don't even know what to say. I think that's it. I'm Christopher Luna. This is Toni Lumbrazo. Luna, some of you know her as Toni Partington.
Who am I going to be?
And we are your hosts for this evening.
I'll return, as someone new.
This may sound like a funny thing for a guy with as big a mouth as me to say, but I feel like I'm here tonight to listen primarily and bear witness and to, sort of help you to hold the space. But I did find, we start every Ghost Town reading with a poem by someone else to just get one poem out into the air and set the tone. And I thought this poem from Joy Harjo, which I'm sure that some of you have heard before, but which she ends her really great memoir, Crazy Brave, with, because it was one of the first poems that she completed when she says, poetry found her. I thought that this poem was appropriate for many of our heads are at this evening. I release you, my beautiful and terrible fear. I release you. You were my beloved and hated twin, but now I don't know you as myself. I release you with all the pain I would know at the death of my children. You are not my blood anymore. I give you back to the soldiers who burned down my home, beheaded my children, raped and sodomized my brothers and sisters. I give you back to those who stole the food from our plates when we were starving. I release you, fear, because you hold these scenes in front of me, and I was born with eyes that can never close. I release you. I release you. I release you. I release you. I am not afraid to be angry. Hey, Scott?
Yeah?
Can you help me to lower this a little bit? I feel like it's taking over my face. There we go. Got it.
Don't worry, it is taking over.
Taking over my face.
Get it back soon.
What's wrong? it.
There we go, a little bit better.
You know you want to.
All right, and deep breath now. Thank you. There you go.
Release your fear about having
Yes. My face needs to be fully visible at all times. It's a rule. Around the house and here. Sorry. Back to Joy Arjo. Sorry about that. I am not afraid to be angry. I am not afraid to rejoice. I am not afraid to be black. I am not afraid to be white. I am not afraid to be hungry. I am not afraid to be full. I am not afraid to be hated. I am not afraid to be loved. To be loved. To be loved. Fear. Oh, you have choked me, but I gave you the leash. You have gutted me, but I gave you the knife. You have devoured me, but I laid myself across the fire. I take myself back, fear. You are not my shadow any longer. I won't hold you in my hands. You can't live in my eyes, my ears, my voice, my belly, or in my heart, my heart, my heart, my heart. But come here, fear. I am alive, and you are so afraid of dying. Joy Harjo.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to put this out there. One of the little dreams that I have is to try to get Joy here. There are a couple of poets who are
There's some sheets.
really near and dear to this community. I just know this because the poets in the community have told me about how much they love them over the years. Joy Harjo is one. Charles Bukowski is one. You know, Charles is not with us anymore, but Joy is. So if I can, we'll see if I can get her out here to be with us at some point. And I'm looking at you, Jim. Yeah, Joy Harjo read at Pal's once, and a bunch of us went and sat in the front row, or my memory was the front row, and it was the only time that I had that experience of probably what it was like for people to see like the Beatles in '64 or something, where I went up there and I had all sorts of things in mind I might say to her or whatever, but I was just like, blah, blah, blah. She had me starstruck for sure. She's great. Okay, so as we do, we're going to start the open mic with our videographer and poet and previous feature, Tiffany Berger.
Oh, what to read. I will start with a New York poem.
Yeah.
This is called Moon Over Manhattan. There he is, ever so present, watching me enjoy the glow of the city's streets. Dusk has begun to set in the October sky. The moon is here in all his brilliance. He spares me from heartbreak, keeps me from the thoughts that are always on my mind. It's cold this 24th day of October. I bundle up in my trench coat as I walk the streets with my brother and sister. We just left Shabbat service in the heart of Manhattan. I always enjoy religious ceremonies, yet not a fan of religion itself. I just can't seem to buy into the rules. We continue to walk towards the subway, debate on where to eat Greek food. In that moment, I realize the moon is my God. He guides me, watches over me, leads me towards the lessons I need to learn. He places me at the foot of the Atlantic Ocean so I can continue to be reborn.
Yeah.
So, just when I think about everything that's happened this week, I think a lot about my granddaughter. And so this is a poem I wrote for her, and I've read it here before, but just something I wanted to share tonight. It's called Visions of the Future. I wake to the sound of Sophia talking. She doesn't form words yet, but her sounds are songs played to my heart. She is happy, growing and thriving in her mother's care. My home is filled to the top with love and baby stuff. Love rushes out the door and nurtures the sunflowers that grow in the garden. Sophia will play here one day. She will help me plant the seeds, water and care for them. She will learn that we have a connection to the sunflower. It is who we are. The sunflower represents strength, generosity, giving, beauty, and love. Sunflowers hold within them all that is needed to flourish in life. Love for the earth, the sun, the rain, and the orange moon of August that illuminates the flower petals in the darkest of nights. Sophia, you are a sunflower because your mother is, I am, and your great-grandmother was. We are strong, love until our last breath, and nurture and care for those around us. Even the weeds need the love and support from us. Even the weeds can grow with our love and compassion. It will not be easy for you. The burden is large, but your mom is here to guide you. I am here to show you the beauty that resides within you, teach you how to nurture the weeds. You will be the most beautiful sunflower of us all, for you hold the spirit of the mighty sunflowers that flourished before you were born. Never be afraid of your strength, compassion, and your ability to see the goodness in others. It is within your eyes that others see the beauty within themselves. This is your gift to the world. Share it, care for it, so when you have a daughter of your own, you can teach her the ways of the sunflower.
Yeah.
And this last one is just kind of for anybody who feels like they don't have a voice. If you ever find yourself surrounded in a distant place by people who steal your voice, I will remind you of your ba-boom, ba-boom. Even if they have cut your ears and you can no longer hear your song, I will dance it so you can remember your boom, ba-boom. If you have your eyes removed, blinded your sight, I will stomp out your boom, boom, ba-boom. If all your senses are gone, then I will be your voice, sing your song until I can no longer remember my own boom, boom, ba-boom.
Yeah.
Okay, next, let's hear from Ian and Katie. Come on up,
This one's called Shake Your Tambourine. My favorite rock and roll treatment was recording on that 8-track, hot and heavy upstairs in the garage out in Fremont. When Renee decided to add the tambourine to the intro, it was the chorus of the song, the riff that put it all together. And the tambourine was like the refrain that we just kept coming back to. Just a simple rock and roll song from the esprit of the Rolling Stones. You could hear whistling, da do ron ron ron, da do ron ron, the way it all came together. Then listening on green couch, El Jefe looking pleased, a halo of smoke around his head, playing with reverb and delay pedals, just a little bit here, a little bit there. That's the one. Maybe you want to put your hands on your hip, elbows out, and strut with the tambourine shaking. Got two more. This is a short one. It's called Cleopatra Has a Tail Like a Question Mark. Cleopatra has a tail like a question mark that curls above her head as she walks in the dark, curious where the dog will lead. The dog walks secure on his leash while Cleopatra laughs at him, jumping over his head and watching him lift his leg to pee. And this one's called Lesser of Two Evils. People ask questions they already know the answer to. There's a murder mystery story going on outside. Gripped by terror, we make rash decisions. Our fate sealed overnight with an election. The will of the people must be heard. If it were just a matter of the lesser of two evils, I might understand if it were just about respect, like who did this to your town. A grocery list left behind, forgot the hot dog buns and cheese. They're hiring for all these jobs that nobody wants. or a collection of addresses for friends that have all moved away. Replacing the pilot light in your water heater. These are all first world problems, man. Unqualified or underqualified, underemployed, yet just don't seem to have any time. The milk of human kindness on your upper lip. Movember mustaches keeping us aware. Remains of 3,423 men, women, and children. Canisters of ashes indexed in decay. A pageant from the Oregon State Mental Hospital, chronicled and memorialized and left unclaimed. Introducing new foods to my digestive system. Not for nothing, these are things that may occur. Running through my mind at 2 in the morning, Daniel Boone courts future wife at communal cherry picking, takes out his knife and tears at her apron. Not getting much sleep these days. Transcendental meditation or an afternoon nap. Never write a poem titled This Mortal Coil, or Miles Davis' Backyard Ritual. We all know what went down back there. It's that murder mystery story we keep coming back to. Happy wife, happy life. Cubs win World Series in Cleveland. A 72-degree evening in November. Unknown error occurred, cannot update. Visions of secret police everywhere. Gestapo sitting in poetry readings. Now is the time to lay low. Infiltrate from within. Funding for public broadcasting stripped away. Nuclear codes shared on the dark web. Guantanamo Bay teeming with residents. An overflow of poets and proponents. Dictionaries wiped clean. Balance of power restored. I see this day like a science fiction novel fulfilled. Reality shows of screaming pundits, waiting for votes to be cast by Twitter. Who wants to be a millionaire? Hunger Games realized in prime time. A rating bonanza for the sponsors. The murder weapon has been found. Precious cargo that couldn't be insured due to an inherent vice. Faith in humanity restored. We all know what you were capable of. The FBI director falls on his sword. Time like this, maybe only poetry can save us.
I assure you all have things to say, and I just, like I said, tonight I wanted to listen to what the folks in my ghost town community had to say about it all. Someone else who's been with us from the very beginning, Lori Loringer. Come on up, Lori.
Make sure this is, speaking level and not reading in my face. All right. This is called Stories. Somewhere between the leaf falling from the overhanging plant to land at my feet and the moment it actually lands, my mind tells the story of a spider jumping from the foliage, perhaps to alight on me, maybe to bite me. My heart races. My breath catches short in my throat. My voice is frozen solid in that space between one breath and the next, eyes wide with the potential for terror, until suddenly seeing the fallen leaf, crinkled and browning, demonstrating no arachnid tendencies or likeness to spiders. Just laying there, the terror potential 0. No spider, no biting, nothing scary at all. Just a story.
Yeah.
All right, this is called For All Those Standing at Standing Rock. I think of you when I wash the dishes, running warm water over the plates and cups. I think of you when I take a bath, luxuriating in the hot, soapy tub. I watch the autumn rain, torrential sheets of it, puddling on the ground before filtering through the earth to land in my well, clean and sweet and plentiful. I think of you, standing firm to protect the water for all of us, the water so many take for granted. I think of you on sacred sovereign soil, when I see the photos of soldiers lined up to protect financial interests against your steadfast watchfulness, your peaceful presence, standing like rocks, a sovereign nation staring down aggressive invaders, meeting a clear act of war with the steady gaze of those who know the power of simply being and always standing straight and steady, standing up for what is right.
Now I know what's going on, I have to worry about it. But now I'm a little bit thrown off. Because there's Zoe, and that's the name of Gloria's
It's not my
daughter.
Zoe. She's only 2 babies.
You're Zoe?
Yeah.
No? You're Zoe, okay. I'm sorry, it just really threw me off. But okay, so another Zoe who is not related to Gloria.
Is this eating my face? So my first poem is called I and You. I wrote it in my senior year as a poetry interlude for creative writing. So, I am different. I am bold. I can walk and I can run. I talk, cry, sing, and sleep. I am bullied, I am hiding. I smile and I laugh. I disgust myself. You are misguided, you are cold. You punch, kick, and scream. You use anger and feel pain. You are abused, you are weak. You cry, sob, and shout. You are ashamed. You and I will never be the same. Thank you for the clouds, by the way. A lot of guts to get up here. So the second one is called Time to Go Daddy, and it's about my dad. And I kind of wrote it when I was really upset with thinking about my dad. His anniversary is coming up with his death this next April, so yeah. So you were 3 when you last saw your daddy. You saw him leave a diaper bag, and you cried in your mommy's arms. You saw your daddy again on Christmas and smiled. You hugged him before leaving. You saw him waving goodbye on the train. You saw your daddy slip away. You saw him inhale drugs. You said at his funeral. You said, "Time to go, Daddy," and cried. You had nightmares. You felt guilt. You wanted your dad back. You wanted one last goodbye. You cried. So, how many of you are familiar with Maya Angelou? So, because of recent election results and whatnot, I decided to share I Rise by her. Come on! You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with a certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want me to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like here I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide. Welling and swelling I bear in the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
All right.
Next, we're going to hear from Heidi. Welcome, Heidi. I believe this is the first time we'll be hearing from you, correct? Yes, first time it goes down. Say hello to Heidi.
So I'm actually from here, but living in North Carolina right now. And I cannot read either one of these poems there. So this is the first time. Woo! Yes, she knows. So, yeah. This one, I kind of just went kind of weird. This is about humanity meeting with technology for the millennial generation, like in our future. So, it's called Singularity. There is death in the singularity, death of individuality, the poet, the artist, the creator. I becomes the we the singularity. The mechanical mind is pure of irrationalities. Logic and reason replace God. Thus, peace on earth is born. There is rebirth in the singularity. War, now obsolete. Humanity, converted into biotechnology. Perfection. No aging, no disease. We surpassed God. Thus, our souls transcended into collective consciousness. There is unity in the singularity. Machines amalgamated with the organic, created synchronized with the creator. Woe, the conflict, the struggle of the disconnected. Left behind in blood, ignorance to the king of life. We could, if only the singularity could. Thus is the way of unchanged humanity. There is peace in the singularity. The mind settled by the all-knowing. No questions unasked, no answers unobtainable. Come, join us at last, brethren. Forget your human ways. Thus resign your soul and you'll forever be in control. The title of this one explains why I can't read it in the South. It's called Preacher Man. There you go. All right. Mama stood on the riverside with the jumbled combination of her congregation. She led me down the path toward the preacher man draped in black. He held out his hand. It was twice the size of mine. I looked back at her, the sun fading just behind the mountainside. With a firm, proud nod, she urged me on. So I grabbed the preacher man's hand and stepped down into that icy river bend, where the water passed my chest. As it froze my breath, my white nightgown blew up in the water like a bubble. The congregation murmured their approval, while they nodded agreeably. As the preacher man spoke of Jesus reaching the youngest, beaming with cold pride, this was a passage into the group which was to be mine. He asked some questions regarding my soul, and if Jesus was mine to know. A wide smile crossed my face. Mama knew him, therefore so should I. With a confident yes, he told me to cross my arms against my chest, to close my eyes and take a deep breath. This I did. He baptized me in the name of the Father, the Son, and of course the Holy Ghost. In that moment, he sunk me down. My eyes shot open in the moss-filled river. As the sun trickled in, a trout swam by, gargling some water on his way. I screamed and thrashed about, but the preacher man held me down. No air, fading light, and the panic of a drowning child. Breaking an arm free, I bit the preacher man's hand. He released me as he retreated. Coming up with a frantic scream, Mama couldn't look at me. The adoring murmurs had grown louder, colder. Unaware, I swam desperately for the shore. My foot caught on the rock as it dug into the bone. Blood gushed up as it drifted down the river. As the orange-burnt sunset accented the deepness of the crimson, I clawed my way up, grasping at the muddy shore. My white nightgown had now turned brown. I laid on the bend, clinging to the strands of long grass, greedily taking in breath. Unaware of the head shaking their disappointment. There I lay, foot bleeding, face half planted in the mud. This was my glory day. Then the sun sank, swallowed by the horizon. As the headlights of leaving cars turned on, Mama handed Hetty a towel, told him to go fetch me. The preacher man got out of the water, patted my head condescendingly as he passed while I continued bleeding. Heffy didn't look at the preacher man as he passed, but instead tossed the towel on my face. He glanced at my bloody feet. "Did you meet him?" he asked jokingly. Exhaling deeply, I nodded my head. "Yeah," I said. "He was just a fish."
Thank you. And thanks for coming back to read for us. I appreciate it. Tell them that we said hello in North Carolina. Next, we're going to hear from Darcy Schultz. Come on down, Darcy.
Remind me not to drink this much wine right before I read something.
I'm reminding you now. Is it a little too late?
I have to tell you, I don't have an election poem yet. I woke up with part of one this morning, but it's still working. So here's an assorted collection. The upstairs room. The upstairs bedroom was a mint green world stacked high. Entry of a new lover, they nested, burrowing, one lost generation over another, hand over hand, marveling in the unbeauty. Battered tapes played women's love songs. Posters of movie stars watched over the bed. Motown was just on the radio. Dust lay everywhere, dust thick and sensual. Unsilent room in the rain. Books whispered forbidden secrets. War medals lay hidden under china, and fireworks in cartons, and red heart trade beads from Africa, and the precious perfumes of tea. Entry into a new lover, a new dangerous home. The lipstick plant. The mothers are a lipstick plant in a plastic pot on the desk, cradled in heavy porcelain, smelling wet with a surfeit of water. They sit on workhorse pressboard, wrapped in mask of oak veneer. Hearts pour out in the shape of tears, leafy strands, green hearts together. When the sun is at its lowest, lipstick plant stares into winter from a sunny southern window. The mothers, all maroon on their aisles by empty men, burst into rugged bloom. Burgundy velvets of mothers birth the coral buds of daughters as they sing their secret songs. Without us, you are nothing. Without you, we are nothing. Together we drink the waters. Life passes everywhere. Barge song. I am a child's question that calls forth the world's song. I am a weaver's fingers at the loom of the cosmos. I am an ancient singer at the back of the moon. I am a voice from the depth of the flame. I am a star among numberless stars. I am a mariner on the sea of deep space. I am a bright blade at the edge of sea and sand. I am desert sand touched by one drop of rain. I am a pulsing leaf erupting from newborn ground. I am the lively clamor in the clearing in the wood. I am ancient forest, home of the heart. I am a storm pouring out upon the sea. I am the restless tides, bright sea waves without end. I am sunrise and sunset over the turning earth. I am ascending in dazzling light. I am the dreamer and I am the dream. Hear my words, hear my song.
Hello. Hello. I just want to take 1 minute to clear up my name, just so we all know. I write under the name Toni Partington, and I have been writing under that name for, I don't know, 20 plus years anyway. And most of you know that Chris and I were married in July of 2015. And guess what? We made it like past the 1 year mark. So my name now is Toni, and my middle name is Lumbrazo, which is my family name, and my last name is Lou. So there you go.
4 names.
What's that?
4 names.
4?
4 names. Right?
Toni, Lumbrazo, Lou. 3 names. Well, Partington, 4 names. I got names going on all over the place.
That's a lot of names.
So,
Alright.
Poets, not mathematicians. It's okay. They're poets, not mathematicians. It's all right.
okay, that's right. Chris is giving a social commentary.
Yeah.
So I want to read a poem that I wrote a little while ago, but when I got up this morning, when I woke up after a rough couple of days, as you all know, this was the first thing that came to my mind, and I decided I would read it this evening. Is it on my face? Hey! Hi! I'm going to chew on the microphone, but I won't. So there you go. Okay, this is called syncopation. I'll try not to pop the piece. Okay, syncopation. Syncopation is snow inside the clock tower. A sound full and deep, cursed with melancholy. A thud that lingers in thin air between the bells. Counterpoint is syncopated holiness under the crow's wing. Feathers beat like breath thumping a plea. Too late for clemency and subsumed in shadows like martyrs in quicksand. Who will sing the melody when bells fall silent and the crow's nubile throat is forever shuttered? Lost in the whim of fate or an ordeal by fire? What if the howling wind is the only sign left after our transgressions? Too late for the reset button, too late to retrieve a loved one pushed beyond arm's length. Before the world ends, I want to accept that syncopation is as pure as love and as simple as the rat-tat-tat of the heart. Oh, yes, you did tell me to do that, I forgot. There are a couple of seats up here. There's a seat in the front row if somebody would like to sit. There's also, Chris, put your arm up in the, yep, right behind Chris, there's another seat.
There's 2 over there.
2 over on this side, another one over here, and 1 in the back. So please, if you would like to see, feel free. Yeah, okay. All right, next we're going to hear from Kristin. Come on up, Kristin.
Oh, they probably will enough.
Okay,
I'm about the same thing.
okay, great, thank you.
Too late to sign up.
Hey, right after.
I'll read you mine are short. my poem I wrote yesterday. Speechless. I am at a loss for words. How do I react? My mind blank, baffled to the point of incomprehension. There may not be any words. I'm usually good at words. How? How could could this happen? Is this a nightmare? Am I going to drown in this and wake up screaming? Screaming, panting, but I gotta wake up. Please? No? And I just don't know what to say.
You're gonna come back stronger.
I hope so. And then I've got a few I wrote a long time ago that I found in like the worst one. I hope I break my heart. This might sound like a harsh thing to say, but I hope I break my heart. I hope I love well enough, with enough abandon to lose myself enough to leave my heart open to be broken. My heart is not healed. I can only imagine a time when I will feel whole again. I hurt in every part of me, yet this is a price I'm willing to pay, this broken heart. I loved hard, I loved well. I gave all that I could give, and here, at the end, my heart will heal. I wouldn't trade it, this past, this love, even to avoid this pain. I'm glad that I risked it. I know this pain is a sign that I really did love with my whole heart. I know I could close up from here. I could decide never to try again. This is not my path. I want to love again. Even if it means I will hurt like this again. I want to break my heart. All right, and one last really short one. Pieces. So I sit, surrounded by the pieces of my shattered life, doing time with the crazy glue. Taking time to shape my new life from the pieces. It feels futile while I'm breaking, but I'm forging ahead anyway. Sometimes I make art, sometimes I make a mess. It's often hard to tell the difference.